What if I told you that the raise you worked so hard for just stole your future? Or that every promotion, every bump in income, every little financial win is secretly setting a trap that most people don't see until it's way too late? Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Lifestyle creep isn't just about buying a nicer car or moving to a bigger apartment. It's psychological warfare disguised as progress. It's the slow, quiet betrayal that happens when your expenses rise just as fast as your income, or faster. And the really messed up part? It feels like you're winning while you're actually losing. Allow me to paint you a picture. You're making $45,000 a year. Life is tight but manageable. You're careful with money because you have to be. Then you get that promotion you've been grinding for. Suddenly you're at $60,000. That's $15,000 more per year, over $1,000 more every month. You should feel rich, right? But 6 months later, somehow you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're even more stressed about money than before. What happened? Lifestyle creep happened, and it's stealing somewhere between $50,000 and $200,000 from your future self, depending on how long you let it run wild. I'm going to break down why it feels so good while it's destroying your financial foundation, and most importantly, how to get out of it in a way that actually works for real people living real lives. Not some monk mode fantasy where you move into a van and eat rice for 5 years. Actual, sustainable strategies that let you enjoy your life while still building wealth. Let's start with the psychology, because that's where this trap really lives. Your brain is wired for something called hedonic adaptation. Basically, you get used to stuff really fast. That new apartment that felt amazing for the first month, by month 3, it's just where you live. The car you were so excited about, 6 months in, it's just your car. But here's the kicker. While the excitement fades, the payments don't. You're locked into a higher cost of living based on a feeling that already evaporated. But it goes deeper than that. Lifestyle creep is also about identity. When you make more money, you unconsciously start to feel like you should be living a certain way. You start thinking, I make $75,000 now. I shouldn't be shopping at the same stores I did when I made $40,000. You start creating rules for yourself based on this invisible standard of what someone at your income level should be doing. And society? Society is absolutely thrilled to help you spend that money. Every company, every ad, every Instagram post is calibrated to make you feel like you're falling behind if you're not upgrading constantly. It's not just about keeping up with the Joneses anymore. Now you're keeping up with everyone's highlight reel, all day, every day. Here's where it gets really interesting. Different people fall into this trap in different ways, depending on their income bracket. If you're making between $30,000 and $50,000, lifestyle creep often shows up as relief spending. You've been stressed for so long that when you finally get a raise or a better job, you just want to breathe a little. So you move to a slightly nicer place, or you start eating out more, or you finally replace that phone that's been dying for 2 years. It all feels justified. It all feels like you've earned it, and you have earned it. But if you're not careful, that relief spending becomes your new baseline, and suddenly you're stuck again. If you're in the $50,000 to $80,000 range, lifestyle creep usually shows up as optimization spending. You start thinking about return on investment for everything. A nicer gym because you'll actually go. A better neighborhood because it's safer and closer to work. Nicer work clothes because you're networking now. All logical, all rational, all slowly cranking up your fixed costs so that you can't save any more than you did when you were making $20,000 less. Once you're above $80,000 or $100,000, lifestyle creep becomes status spending. This is where it gets really dangerous because the amounts get bigger and the justifications get smoother. You convince yourself that a $50,000 car is an investment because it's reliable. You buy the house that's slightly too expensive because it's in the right school district, even though you don't have kids yet. You start making decisions based on what someone at your level is supposed to do, not what actually makes sense for your long-term goals. And here's the truly wild part. Lifestyle creep can cost you way more than just the money you're spending right now. Let's do some quick math that'll make you want to throw your phone across the room. Say you get a $15,000 raise. After taxes, that's maybe $10,000 more in your pocket per year, about $833 per month. Now most people immediately adjust their lifestyle to absorb that full amount, or close to it. New car payment, nicer apartment, more meals out, a few subscription services, maybe a vacation you've been putting off, gone. But what if you didn't? What if you kept living like you did before the raise and invested that $833 a month instead? Over 20 years, at a modest 7% average return, that's over $430,000. Over 30 years, it's over $1 million. One raise, managed differently, is literally the difference between retiring comfortably and working until you can't anymore. But let's be real. I'm not going to tell you to pretend you didn't get a raise. That's not sustainable and it's not realistic. Here's what actually works. The rule is simple: split every raise. When your income goes up, immediately split that increase. Half goes to improving your life now. Half goes to improving your life later. That means if you get a $10,000 raise, you can absolutely increase your lifestyle by $5,000 a year. Go ahead, enjoy it. But the other $5,000 goes straight to savings, investments, or debt destruction. You don't see it, you don't touch it, it doesn't exist in your spending world. This does two crucial things. First, it lets you actually enjoy the fruits of your hard work. You're not living like a broke college student when you're 35 and making good money. That's miserable and you'll crack eventually. Second, it still massively accelerates your wealth building because you're capturing half of every increase forever. Over a career, that's an enormous amount of money that compounds while you're still upgrading your quality of life. But okay, what if you're already deep in lifestyle creep? What if you're reading this and realizing you've been caught in this trap for years? Here's how you actually get out without destroying your life or your mental health. Step 1. Do a full financial audit, but make it painless. Don't sit down with a spreadsheet and hate yourself for 3 hours. Just pull up your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. Scan through and highlight anything that makes you go, huh? I forgot I was paying for that. Or, wow, that's more than I thought. You're looking for what I call quiet leaks. These are the subscriptions you don't use, the convenient spending that's become automatic, the small upgrades that snuck in and never left. For most people, there's $100 to $300 per month hiding in quiet leaks. Find it, cut it. You won't miss it because you weren't really getting value from it anyway. Step 2. Identify your big three. Your big three are housing, transportation, and food. For most people, these three categories eat up 60% to 70% of their income. If you're struggling with lifestyle creep, at least one of these is probably oversized. You don't need to blow up your life, but you do need to be honest. Are you in an apartment that's $300 more per month than you need? That's $3,600 a year. Over 10 years invested, that's over $50,000. Are you financing a car that costs $150 more per month than a perfectly good alternative? Same math. These aren't small decisions, they're quietly huge. Now here's the part where most advice goes off the rails. I'm not telling you to sell your car and take the bus if that makes your life miserable. I'm not telling you to move into a studio if you work from home and need space. What I'm telling you is to optimize at the next decision point. When your lease is up, can you find something $200 cheaper that's still good? When you need your next car, can you choose the solid, reliable option instead of the status symbol? You don't have to punish yourself. You just have to stop the bleeding at the next opportunity. Step 3. Automate your wealth building before you see the money. This is the single most important thing you can do. If you're trying to save or invest what's left over at the end of the month, you'll fail. There's never anything left over. Instead, set up automatic transfers that happen the day your paycheck hits. If you're following the split every raise rule, that money never even enters your mental budget. It's gone before you can spend it. This removes willpower from the equation entirely, and willpower is a terrible strategy for long-term success. Step 4. Create artificial friction for impulse spending. This one's sneaky but effective. Remove your credit card info from all your online shopping accounts, and delete the apps for stores you browse when you're bored. Unsubscribe from marketing emails. The goal isn't to never buy anything. The goal is to add just enough friction that you don't make purchases on autopilot. If you have to get up, find your wallet, and manually enter your card info, you'll skip probably 30% of impulse buys just because it's slightly annoying. That's found money. One thing I did that really helped me making a grocery list before I go shopping for food. If it's not on the list, I don't get it, so I need to make sure I do a good job to think of everything I'm going to need for the week before I leave the house. That list is a literal barrier, and it's completely transformed my life to the tune of thousands of dollars. Step 5, and this is the big one, redefine what wealth means to you. Most people think lifestyle creep is about stuff, but it's really about identity. You've tied your sense of success to visible markers. The car, the apartment, the clothes, the restaurants. But here's the truth that nobody tells you until you're older. Real wealth isn't about looking rich. It's about having options. Wealth is being able to quit a job that's destroying your mental health because you have 6 months of expenses saved. Wealth is being able to take a risk on a career change because you're not drowning in debt. Wealth is not having to check your bank account before buying groceries. Wealth is sleeping well because you know that if your car breaks down or your dog needs surgery, it's annoying, but it's not a catastrophe. That's the shift. Stop measuring wealth by what you can buy and start measuring it by how many problems money can't create for you. Let me tell you what this looks like at different stages, because I know some of you are at $400 thinking this all sounds impossible, and others are at $80,000 thinking you're doing fine when you're actually in quicksand. If you're starting from almost zero, like $400 or $1,000, your job isn't to invest yet. Your job is to build a small emergency buffer so that life's little punches don't send you into debt. Aim for $1,000 first, then $2,000. This isn't glamorous, but it's the foundation everything else sits on. Every dollar you save here is a dollar you don't have to borrow at 20% interest later. Cut one subscription, pick up one extra shift, sell one thing you don't use. Stack those dollars until you have breathing room. If you're in the $5,000 to $20,000 range, you're building momentum. This is where you start to feel the psychological shift. You're not quite safe yet, but you're safer than you were. Your goal here is to keep that momentum going while avoiding the trap of rewarding yourself too early. It's so tempting to finally buy the thing or take the trip because you've been disciplined for so long. And look, you can. Just do it strategically. Don't blow your progress. Take $200 for something fun and keep the other $1 and $800 working for you. If you're closing in on $50,000 or $100,000, you're in the danger zone for lifestyle creep because you're starting to feel successful. The money in your account feels substantial. You might start thinking, I have been so careful for so long, I deserve to enjoy this a little. And you do, but this is exactly where people backslide. They hit $90,000 in savings and then slowly let it drift back down to $60,000 because they stopped being as intentional. Don't do that. This is where you push through and let compound growth start doing the heavy lifting. If you're restarting after a divorce, a layoff, burnout, or any major life reset, first of all, give yourself some grace. Starting over at 30, 40, or 50 doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human and life happened. The principles are the same, but your timeline is different. You can't afford to waste years on lifestyle creep if you're rebuilding, but you also can't hate your life so much that you give up. Be ruthlessly efficient with your big three expenses, automate your savings, and focus on killing any high-interest debt fast. You can still build something meaningful, but you've got to be smarter and faster than someone who started at 22. And if you're older, nearing retirement, and realizing you don't have as much saved as you thought you would, your focus shifts to defense. Stop the bleeding immediately. Any dollar you're wasting now is a dollar you'll desperately need in 5 years. Pay off any remaining debt, cut your fixed costs as low as they can go without making you miserable, and simplify your life. The good news? If you own your home and car outright and have low expenses, you need way less money to retire than the internet tells you. The bad news? If you're still carrying debt and lifestyle creep into retirement, you're going to struggle. Now, let's talk about the identity piece again, because this is where sustainable change actually lives. Most people never escape lifestyle creep because they're trying to willpower their way through it. They make a budget, they white knuckle it for 3 months, then they crack and go right back to old habits. That doesn't work. What works is changing how you see yourself. You have to go from I'm someone who struggles with money to I'm someone who builds wealth. That shift sounds small, but it changes every decision. Someone who struggles with money buys the thing because it's on sale, even if they don't need it. Someone who builds wealth asks if the thing moves them closer to their goals. Someone who struggles with money sees a raise as a chance to finally breathe and then immediately fills their life back up with expenses. Someone who builds wealth sees a raise as fuel and immediately redirects half of it to investments. Someone who struggles with money feels ashamed when they can't afford something their friends are doing. Someone who builds wealth feels proud that they're making different choices because they understand what those choices are buying them. Not stuff, but time and freedom and options. This identity shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, repeated actions that prove to yourself that you're capable of this. Every time you automate a transfer, you're proving it. Every time you cut a quiet leak, you're proving it. Every time you choose the less expensive option that still works, you're proving it. And over time, it stops feeling like sacrifice. It starts feeling like strategy. You're not depriving yourself. You're playing a different game than most people, a game where you actually win. Here's your framework to beat lifestyle creep for good. I call it the 4 anchors. Anchor 1, automate before you feel it. Every raise, every bonus, every unexpected chunk of money gets split immediately. Half to now, half to later. Set up the automatic transfer before you get used to seeing that bigger number in your account. Anchor 2. Audit every quarter. Every 3 months, pull up your spending and look for quiet leaks. They sneak back in. That's just how it works. Subscriptions you forgot about. Convenient spending that became a habit. Small upgrades that don't add enough value. Kill them. Bank the difference. Anchor 3. Optimize your big 3 at every decision point. You don't have to blow up your life, but every time your lease ends, your car lease ends, or you're making a food habit decision, ask yourself, can I get 80% of the value for 60% of the cost? Usually, yes, do that. Anchor 4. Track your freedom number, not your stuff number. Your freedom number is how many months of expenses you have saved, how close you are to being debt-free, how much passive income you're building. That's the scoreboard, not the car, not the apartment, not the watch. Every financial decision should be measured against whether it moves your freedom number up or down. Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like when you actually win this fight. You wake up on a random Tuesday and your car makes a terrible noise. 5 years ago, that would have ruined your week and possibly sent you into credit card debt. Now, it's annoying, but you've got $10,000 sitting in your emergency fund. You get it fixed, you move on, your stress level doesn't even spike. Your boss is a nightmare, and the job is eating your soul. 5 years ago, you would have been stuck because you needed every single paycheck. Now, you've got 6 months of expenses saved and no debt. You start looking for something better, and you're willing to wait for the right fit because you're not desperate. That's power. You see something you actually want, something that would genuinely make your life better, and you can buy it without guilt and without derailing your financial plan because you've built the system that allows for that. You're not depriving yourself. You're just being intentional. That's what beating lifestyle creep buys you. Not a perfect life, not zero stress, but options, space, the ability to make decisions based on what's actually good for you, not what you can barely afford this month. So, here's what you're gonna do today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. 1. Open your banking app and look at the last 30 days of spending. Find one quiet leak, one subscription you don't use, one habit that's not adding real value. Cancel it right now. 2. If you have any kind of savings account and it's not high yield, move it today. You should be earning 4% or more on your emergency fund, not 0.01%. That's free money you're leaving on the table. 3. Set up one automatic transfer, even if it's $25, even if it's $10. Pick a number that won't hurt, schedule it for the day after your paycheck hits, and let it run. You just built the foundation of the system that's going to change everything. And 4, write down your freedom number. How many months of expenses do you want saved? When do you want to be debt-free? What does financial security actually look like for you in concrete terms? Put a number on it, make it real. Look, lifestyle creep is going to keep coming for you. Every raise, every bonus, every time life gets a little easier, it'll whisper that you deserve to spend it all right now. And you do deserve good things. But you also deserve a future where money isn't constantly stressing you out. You deserve options. You deserve to not be trapped. The people who build real wealth aren't the ones who make the most money. They're the ones who learn to let their income grow faster than their expenses. That gap, that difference between what you make and what you spend, that's where your entire future lives. If this video gave you a new way of thinking about money, do me a favor and hit the like button. It actually helps more people find this kind of content. And if you're serious about building wealth without hating your life, subscribe because we're going deep on all of this. Drop a comment and let me know where you're at on your journey. Are you just starting out? Are you recovering from lifestyle creep? Are you trying to restart after a major life change? I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going. You've got this. The trap is real, but now you see it. And once you see it, you can beat it.